in the minutes, Greg, that we didn't say that we beat Greg up the last time on his numbers, but I know there was a lot of discussion. Greg, if you're there, if you'll walk us through the numbers through October.
Sure. Thanks, Peter. Morning, everyone. Through 10 months of our fiscal year, October was a fairly good month as the true, actually the Highland bond fee came in. But again, you see cash holding steady at 4.4 million. Again, we'll circle back to why that's down. But again, all the other prepaids and just normal accounting processes, you will see compared to prior year that our revolving loan fund balance is up, and that's due to the Mercury print $500,000 loan, and so that is why that has increased from the prior year. And the emergency loan receivable balances still remains the same as we go into 2021 expecting payments on those balances. All the other payables and liabilities are really just timing adjustments. So if you look down at the bottom, our summary of our revenue and expenses, you can see that our year-to-date, our numbers are really strong compared to, a budget and actual. And again, I don't think it's any surprise to everyone that the bond fee is really what changes that landscape. And that sits in that revenue other bucket. So a very strong year for the IDC. In addition, again, there has been some increased activity in incentive programs, great rates.
Joining the meeting.
That is why, again, some of that is a timing differences, but there has been increased activity in those programs. And again, economic development, we have discussed, in prior meetings that most of those programs have been either removed or delayed or tabled for now. That is why that significant decrease. But overall, revenue is up, significantly compared to what we had budgeted. Expenses are down to prior year and budget. And so, like I said, overall, really good activity through 10 months. We are at a surplus of 1.228. If you back out the $1 million from the IDA, we'd be at about to normalize that, we'd be at about a $228,000 excess revenue over expenses, which, as you can see from years past, is quite an improvement. And again, most of that obviously has to do with the bond fee.
Joining the meeting.
So, good month, good progress through 10 months so far. That's all I got.
Thanks, Greg. Questions for Greg? No. As we look forward into November, do we have one more bond? Or through year end?
Yes, Peter. This is Rachel. RRH is closing on November 17th, and I'm blanking on the fee, and at the moment I can pull up your invoice. I do have it here. But that is a substantial fee. It is higher. I can tell you it's higher than the U of R fee, which was around $400,000. So it is closer to $500,000, if I recall correctly.
And we're splitting that with our neighboring counties who sort of participate in this, and that all worked out. There was no pushing or shoving or budging at the waterfront.
Not at all. The aggregate fee to all the issuers is higher than the $500,000. So the $500,000 is the net to MCIDC, or roughly. It's a little shy of that. And the other issuers were also included in the negotiation, and I think everybody left the negotiation, including RRH, feeling very good about it and about the project. And so it was a very nice regional collaborative approach to the transaction.
It's encouraging.
Very much
always
so.
the case. Thanks, Rachel.
Sure.
Anna, you want to speak a little bit about the emergency loan fund?
Yes, thank you. So, of course, you all saw the news yesterday that most of Monroe County is in a yellow zone now, and there is a continued state of existential anxiety, I suppose, in the part of the business community, particularly those service sector businesses that were, by and large, the recipients of our loans. And so we are proposing the extension or the deferment of the repayment of the loans to 6 months. So the loans would come due July 1, 2021, and the businesses would have the option to pay back in full in advance of that date. And I am asking that the board consider this and approve it if you think it's a good idea. So I would be requesting a motion to extend the deadline of the emergency loan program to July 1, 2021. It's currently stands at January 1, 2021.
And just remind me again, the repayment on those loans was over how long?
Over a 2-year period at
Over 2
zero
years.
interest. Mm-hmm.
And this will be kind of an offering, or is this going to kind of be just a blanket?
It's well, it would be a blanket. All of the businesses would be eligible to begin payoff July 1st, 2021. However, loan recipients that wish to pay the loans off in advance of that date or initiate repayment in January or earlier, that would be completely fine on our end.
Great. Thanks, Anna.
Yep.
Any questions for Anna?
No, all set.
For discussion, I'll seek a motion then to approve the 6 month deferral program for the emergency loan fund.
This is Lynn, I'll move it.
Thank you, Lynn.
Pete Carr, I'll second.
Thank you, Pete. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Great, thank you. Yesterday, Andy's out traveling this morning, but yesterday the executive committee met and reviewed a proposal for the Rochester Commissary, which is located in the Sibley Building. We'll discuss this in a little more detail, but essentially, the RDDC had a hand in starting that, developed a little synopsis summary of what the ask is. It's basically to pay for health permits of the health department permits required for those being involved in the commissary as a business development measure. Currently, there is some forward legislation where those permits would not be required to be paid in the future beyond 21. So the expectation is this will not be repetitive, but the ask is for $15,000. Anna, you will do a much better job of discussing the benefits of it. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So you explained it well. The Rochester Downtown Development Corporation several years ago started formulating this idea that food and beverage startups, didn't have a commercial kitchen space where they could safely, reliably launch their businesses, and they secured a loan from the Economic Development Administration to build. It's a multi-unit commercial kitchen suite in the Sibley Building downtown, and because these entrepreneurs are lacking resources, initially RDDC had spoken with some county leaders about negotiating down the price of a health permit from the Monroe County Department of Health, and that would have required legislative approval, and it didn't move forward. So they approached the county executive, and he approached me and asked if MCIDC could do something just in year one to help offset the cost of the health permits for these entrepreneurs, with the expectation that at some point in the coming year, the legislature will approve, hopefully, a reduction in the fee for startups locating at the commissary. And so this would be a reimbursement program. So the businesses would pay for the permits and then for the span of 1 year, and then come to us with proof of payment, and then we would reimburse them. That's why it says not to exceed $15,000. Are there any questions?
This is Joe Rizzo. I just wanted to just add to what you had said, Anna, about the commissary. Well, let's see if anybody has any questions first. So in terms of, I wanted to emphasize just building upon what Anna said about the importance of this commissary, and we've been working with RDDC for quite some time, and we're providing assistance to help with the build out of that, with infrastructure, et cetera. But also from a broader perspective, as everyone knows, there's a real shift in terms of development downtown, in terms of working with developers and so forth. And we see all the projects that are happening across the downtown area. And this really rounds out, there's a lot of high tech in the creative class in downtown. And here's an opportunity for businesses that are outside of purely the high tech to help folks and really drive diversity and equity. So it's a really holistic, opportunity for growth in the downtown. So we're really excited about the efforts from Laura and RDDC and so forth to really help revitalize the downtown areas.
Thank you, Joe.
This is Phil Smith. I'll move to approve the request.
Thank you, Phil. Seeking a second to approve the 15,000.
Second, Joe Rizzo.
Thank you, Joe. And thank you for the additional color there. Very helpful. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. The final motion I'm looking for is to approve the $90,000 annual contract between MCIDC and Monroe County for 2020. Something we've had in place for a number of years, unchanged at the $90,000 level.
Thank you. This is, we're asking that the board make a motion to approve the contract with Monroe County such that it is reflected in our minutes.
This is Phil Smith. I'll move that.
Dave Brooks will second.
Thank you both. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I do appreciate it because I signed the contract. Any other business to discuss today? Anna, thank you and your team for all your work. I guess I'll look for a motion to adjourn. We'll be very concise this morning.
So move, PT Corp.
Thank you, Pete, in a second.
I'll move to Deborah.
Great, thank you all. I did want to get you out there for this nice weather. I think this is the last one. Enjoy yourselves and be well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.